Morning, Anambra, today, Friday, 25th day of April, 2025. How are you? Okay. Are you suffering from malaria now, or have you suffered from malaria before? Do you know anybody that is that has gone through that illness called malaria? Or are you even sure it's not in your system? Because somebody was saying that anytime you run tests for malaria, you must be positive. You know, come on, positive, but that's malaria in every African person's body. I don't know how true this is, but we're going to find out all those this morning as we look at the topic World Malaria Day 2025, Ending Malaria Together, with a theme, Reinvest, Reimagine, and Reignite. What does that mean? I don't know. We'll have a professor in the house. He is Professor Dennis Aribodo. Is the Southeast Coordinator Association of Civil Society Organizations on Malaria Control, Immunization, and Nutrition, ACOMEN. Did I get that right, Prof?
You did.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning. Nigerians, good morning.
Okay, good morning and welcome. My name is Sijama, and I also have AJ with me. AJ.
Yeah, Nijoma. Ijoma AJ, maybe we'll call it IJ, AJ, or whatever. But good morning, Anambra. Well, welcome to the Friday edition of Good Morning, Anambra. It's really, really interesting to be here talking about malaria. Currently, I'm even on malaria drugs. I speak to you. Yeah, I'm treating malaria. So,
and I treated last week.
No, my normal symptoms are achy joints.
This is where Prof is going to deal with us now.
Prof, you come, I noticed it when I left town. I traveled for a burial ceremony. As soon as I just got to the venue, I started feeling feverish.
It could be change of environment.
No, my joints were aching.
Let me be your doctor.
It wasn't a case of, you know, I had bad malaria incidents before I embarked on that trip. You understand? Malaria attack home. I mean, mosquito attack home. So I just felt I changed the environment and then it manifested.
That mosquito attack doesn't mean you have malaria.
Really?
We are not pushing for a world free of mosquitoes. We are pushing for a world free of malaria parasites. Because mosquitoes are part of the ecosystem and part of the food chain of the world. So we are not pushing for a world without mosquitoes. That will not be possible. Because even in UK, US, where you don't have malaria, you have mosquitoes.
Okay, so apart from biting us, there are some other things they do.
Those mosquitoes will not carry the parasite. That is our interest.
Okay. What else do they do?
Even in Algeria, where we found malaria in the 18th century, 18 something. In 2020, they limited malaria. They still have mosquitoes. But those mosquitoes don't have the malaria parasite.
How possible is that?
How do they separate the ones that has malaria parasite and the one that do not?
The agenda of malaria, the agenda of mosquitoes is not to give you malaria. Because every mosquito was born without malaria parasite.
So where did you
get
it?
To bank. You gave it to them. You and animals gave it to them. You contaminated them. No mosquito is born with malaria parasite.
So, but they said that this one that is called Anopheles mosquito is one that has the parasite. So this mosquito can have Anopheles and the other one is not.
It was not born with the parasite, I'm telling you. Once the eggs are hatched in the water bodies and they
gets contaminated.
It became like a worm. Those things is small in your water. Before you know it, they mesh and they fly off. At that stage, they don't have a parasite. They must take a blood of man or animal, maybe cow, goat, chicken, any blood at all. So if that blood has a parasite, the parasite will develop and it starts symptoms.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, so why do we, in that case now, why do we have...
So now, how come the malaria in Europe don't tend to mutate, or will I say, have the... Of course, the malaria cannot survive without blood.
Malaria was in Europe. Malaria is no longer in Europe. Was. Because during that time, they put some great warriors like Alexander the Great. Some of the things that stopped them is malaria from conquering the entire world. But through use of DDT then, they wiped out malaria from the environment. Even in US there was malaria. But these countries now are malaria free. We didn't say it is mosquito free. It is malaria free.
What is DDT?
DDT is the chemical that was used then to do area spraying, diethyl dichloro trichloroethane. It was used as area spray. They used the aeroplane to spray areas.
To do what? To kill the mosquitoes?
Kill the mosquitoes.
But they're still there?
No, the mosquitoes will be there. What they did was an environmental approach because they want to get this malaria out. Mosquito can be imported from anywhere. As you are traveling now, you can carry an egg of mosquito without knowing it. It's so tiny, it can be carried. That have global travel. By any means can move it. Mosquito can follow it, especially the eggs.
Okay, mosquito must bite an animal.
Or man.
Or man.
To be infected.
To be infected.
Yes.
Well, you guys told us that are mosquitoes that has Anopheles. What do you call it? So Anopheles mosquito is the one that gives you malaria.
We have over 3,000 types of mosquitoes.
So there are the ones that don't bite.
We have, out of that over 3,000, we have over 400 Anopheles mosquitoes. Out of that over 400, we have about 60-something out of the Anopheles that can transmit. Out of that 60-something, there are about 3 to 10 that are very active worldwide, and that is where Anopheles belongs. And in that Anopheles, there are many species, many types. Funestus, Gambia, Stevensi. So there are many of them.
I hope Nigeria is not the head Gambia.
So in Nigeria, the ones that are very common are the Anopheles Gambia complex, which always prefers to bite man. Then you have Anopheles funestus. These are the two major Anopheles mosquitoes that are dealing with us by transmitting that plasmodium to us. Yes.
And how does the transmission go?
Yes.
Because you just told him that mosquito can bite you and you will not have malaria.
Yes. Mosquitoes not only transmit malaria, there are other diseases, but that's not the topic today. Today the topic is malaria. Once the mosquito has the parasite inside its body, the parasite will go through a developmental phase in the mosquito until it gets to the salivary gland at the sporozoid stage. At that stage, we call the sporozoid stage. If it bites man, and the biting man means that it's taking blood because he needs blood to develop the eggs. Why mosquito bites man is not because of it, it's just that he needs that blood to do what? To develop the eggs. And it's only the female mosquitoes that do that. Male mosquitoes do not bite man. They go to flowers to suck nectar. Only the female, which will produce offspring, need that blood. If they can't find that blood in man, they find it in animal, but they must get that blood. There's a component of that blood that they require to process their eggs. So, and if that mosquito is not infected, it must still take blood. Maybe in the course of taking that blood, what will happen is that it will do what? If you that are supplying the blood to him has malaria parasite, it will take the malaria parasite from you, and the cycle will continue, develop it in somebody and give it to the next person when he's going to take another blood meal.
So if he takes the parasite from me, he bites the next person, the person takes the parasite too.
Yes.
So in that case, can mosquito also transmit other diseases in the blood?
Yes.
Apart from malaria?
Mosquito transmits yellow fever virus. It's transmitted by a mosquito species called Aedes aegypti. That one is not Anopheles. Mosquito can transmit a disease called filariasis, especially that one that makes the leg to swell.
Like elephantiasis.
Elephantiasis. That disease, that is a worm caused by a worm that blocks the limbs. It is mosquito, and Anopheles is part of the mosquito that transmits that one. Yes. So that is what it can do.
This is dangerous.
Where I'm a bit lost is the mosquito that bites in Europe. How come they don't? Is it that all the animals, in Europe?
Let me explain it better.
Yeah.
For you to be certified malaria-free,
Exactly.
by WHO, World Health Organization, you must have embarked on malaria control, aggressive malaria control, to the extent that you enter what is called pre-elimination phase. And that is when the prevalence of malaria is less than 5% in the country or in the area. After elimination phase is the elimination phase. At elimination phase, what the target is that no mosquito can transmit malaria parasite because there's no malaria parasite anywhere in that environment that the mosquito can acquire and transmit. I don't know that you get it.
That means there will be no animal within your vicinity.
The animal will be there, but it is if the animal has the it doesn't mean that currently it is the animals that give us that. It doesn't mean that it's currently that because most of the malaria mosquitoes are in one. So if the animal does not, and remember that not all animals sustain plasmodium, and not all animals that have plasmodium develop disease. This animal I'm talking about here are monkeys, cows. The parasite does not give them malaria. It is in man that you have that.
So okay, even if the mosquito bites them,
they will not have it.
They won't have malaria.
They will not have. The animal does not suffer malaria.
Okay, how can mosquito bite AJ and he won't have malaria?
If the mosquito does not have malaria parasite.
Okay, like you
so
said.
This malaria I'm suffering now, mosquito bites me obviously.
Yes, and that mosquito is infected with the parasite.
Okay.
Mosquito can bite you. 100 mosquitoes can bite you without you having malaria parasite. That's what I'm trying to make. But one can bite you and but that one is infected.
Okay. Yeah, let us get to the business of the day, World Malaria Day. So what exactly is that all about before we look at the theme?
If you recall, under the administration of Olusegun Obasanjo, 1999 to 2007, around 2000, there was a World Conference on Malaria in Nigeria. And it was that year that the world in Nigeria declared that April 25 will be celebrated as World Malaria Day because at that time the death rate of malaria in the world is in the neighborhood of 3 million per annum. The cases are over 200 to 200 million. So the idea is to bring malaria to the high table of political decision because between 1960 up to 1969, the world took malaria away from the high table of political decision. And from 1969 up to 1999, there was no mention of malaria in world assemblies. And what happened? The prevalence, the body, the death rates multiplied. That was when you had people dying, children. You know, it is children that are less than 5 years and pregnant mothers
that are most vulnerable.
So that is why they were dying, and they were dying, and they were dying. And the world said no. And what did they do? They started mobilizing resources, Global Fund, World Bank, foundations like Bill Gates, many people started putting resources because it's affecting the entire world. It's affecting the labor force. People are getting malaria to their countries. They will not bring money. And between that 2000 and up to 2015, there is what you may call a decline in malaria burden prevalence globally. The statistics came down, the statistics came down. But from 2015 till date, it appears there is stagnation and decline in funding. That decline in funding has stalled the progress recorded. And that is why this year they said reinvest.
Yeah.
That is the idea behind reinvest. So we don't go back to what it was between 1969 to 1999. And they say reimagine, look at the strategies, and do what? Reintegrate. Otherwise, we fall back to what it was. And that is catastrophic for the country, for the world. Unfortunately for us in Nigeria, we are the malaria headquarters of the world.
Not
Malaria
Pakistan.
headquarters.
I said Nigeria is the malaria headquarters of the world.
Headquarters.
Google the World Malaria Report 2024 to tell you that if 100 people are suffering malaria, 30 are Nigerians.
Wow.
If 100 people die of malaria all over the world, 29 are Nigerians. So that is 29%, 30, 30 is 31%. So we are the headquarters. And it's not surprising.
No, it should be.
It's not surprising because we are not investing in malaria control. We are relying on foreign partners.
Is it just investments? Are there no other things that we're supposed to do to prevent malaria? Like taking care of our environment? Do you need foreign support?
What is investment? The people that you want to help you do that, do they know what they should do? Do you know the myths? The myths that are linked to malaria. Some tell you, if I eat oil food, I have malaria. If you stay in the sun, I have malaria. So you need to first of all educate them. To educate them is money.
How long are we going to do that?
To educate them is money. And to tell them that these mosquitoes breed around your environment. Any water that is open, it goes there to breed. It likes clean water. Any water, even in your house, even in your sink, your toilet sink, they breed there. Any available water that can stay 2 or 3 or 4 days, they will breed there. So this is what you need to educate them on that and show them evidences, because they will see the evidence that this thing you see now that is in this water that is like this, doing like this on that water, or doing like this, moving like this, looking like one. Give you 2 days, it becomes mosquito and flies out. So the people have to be mobilized. And this mobilization should not come from the people. Yes.
Where will it come?
It will come from government. It will come from government. So that's why I say that Nigeria is not investing. Nigeria, even Anambra State government is not investing. We rely on foreign partners, foreign donors, WHO, Bill Gates, United States agency, UK agency, UK aid, Japanese aid. That is not how to eliminate malaria.
And doctor, these countries that we are relying on already have tackled malaria.
Yes.
What are the blueprints on how they tackled malaria? If they come and then tell us that this is how we achieved zero malaria.
I presented my inaugural lecture in the year 2023, and I gave them the blueprint. Blueprint.
Ministry of Health.
I gave to the world. You can Google it. The blueprint is there. What did Algeria do? I told you, malaria was discovered in Algeria.
In the 18th century.
Yes, 1890-something. And mosquito was discovered to transmit malaria around that time. Mosquito was discovered to transmit by Ronald Ross around that time. That's why August 20 every year is what mosquito. That is because that was the date he discovered that it is mosquito. So the blueprint is there. The tools are there. What we need is the investment,
the funding,
the resources. Okay, I told you of the golden era of 2000 to 2015. Yeah. What is the magic? Those of you in ABS will know about a storm map if you are here then. Support for malaria program. It was a multi-million dollar project in Nigeria. They supported about 7 states. Anambra is one of them. And at that time, if you go to hospital for malaria, you get free treatment. That treatment is not free. It means somebody has taken up the bill. Yeah. If you want to use net, that net is given to you either free or 100 naira or 20 naira.
Free.
Net, that net is not that cost.
It's been subsidized.
It's about 1,000 plus. If you want to treat, they give you RDT or microscopy free of charge. They train personnel that can do microscopy. Because sometimes some of the things they call malaria is not actually malaria. You need people to be properly trained to do that. So these are the investments. If you are sick, they give you the drug, ACT then. ACT is still ACT now. ACT, any ACT.
That's is up to 21 or so.
That drug is expensive, but they give it to you almost free. That was the golden era, 2000, 2015. Once these people pulled out, government did not take over. Both federal and state, not only both federal and state. And that's why, when I did my inaugural show in 2023, your commissioner, I think, was there. Commissioner for I think he was there. He came. And the MD of ABS then was also there. They had everything. Because to eliminate malaria from Nigeria is not a rocket science. It's very simple. All we need is that resources. That's why that team said reinvest. Because if there is no investment, there won't be action. Those that will go to the field to work will transport themselves. They will eat. They will get some remuneration for bringing out their day. So if you don't do that, you are not doing anything. And if you go Algeria malaria elimination now, you see that in Algeria, they mobilized the entire country. And they became aware and worked towards that. And everything about malaria treatment in Algeria then was free of charge. Because it was a target, it was a project, and achieved that. This year, Egypt has achieved that. Wow. Egypt was giving malaria-free certificate this year.
We listed that it's easier for these Arab countries, desert countries to actually achieve it because they have less water compared to
It is not true.
Or just political.
After I started from Algeria.
The malaria we have in Nigeria today is less than what used to be in Pakistan. Is Pakistan a certain country? Well, the malaria we have today in Nigeria, Google it, is less than what used to be in Pakistan or Palestine, so around that area. But it has been eliminated. It is political will.
They have more stagnant waters because they have
if
pools.
Our governor and our government chairman or mayor, whatever, decide today that in the next 3 to 5 years, we won't have an Anambra State, it's possible. Or we'll have less than 1% malaria, it's possible. What would they do? They mobilize communities. They mobilize by people. They bring out resources. Government, they will when they community get what and when they try to get what in way malaria they can take it free. Before you know it, 1 year, 2 year project.
2 years supervisor. So I remember always my mom call them. My mom's no one I be in cleaning of compound in those days.
They stagnant water. They sanction you. These are the issues.
You clean everywhere. Clean all your surroundings.
So malaria elimination in Nigeria.
So what are those supervisors, those sanitary inspectors or whatever they are called?
As the Minister of Health.
God will help us.
Them and train them.
Talking about reinvesting, just this morning we saw this on the Guardian newspaper that there will be a setback, or rather setback looms in 11 states as U.S. hauls $73 million yearly anti-malaria aid. So, where do we stand with this?
Anambra is not captured in that.
Anambra is there, and Anambra they did that long ago. As we are talking, there's no funding for malaria in Anambra State.
Why?
No US aid, no Japanese, no UK, no whatever, no in Anambra.
We are not paying counterpart fund?
I don't know.
So why now?
I don't know. Government may answer that. Sometimes people say there's no malaria, but at a point, Lagos say they don't have malaria, and they're still funding Lagos. But Lagos is now putting their own money.
Okay.
So if you are reporting data that is not accurate, or does not reflect the truth, just that you want them. I'm not saying it is happening, it happened on others.
Why others inflate their own data to get more money from France?
But if you have such a statistics that yet things are okay with you, why would they come and help you?
Okay.
But people like us are not advocating for people to come and help us. If I was that the usual.
We can do it ourselves.
Like now, about 2 years now, we are working in 5 LGAs. But in these 5 LGAs, we are working in about one community, one ward.
Why?
Trying to, because it was what the Global Fund can afford.
Okay.
15 communities. To show that community-led approaches can reduce malaria prevalence and improve demand creation. And it is working. Commission is aware of it. It knows the progress. Now we are trying to know whether
Health.
Yes, we're trying to know whether government can buy into that and take it up from there and there, increase the facilities that this thing can happen. But it is huge money. The budget is going into hundreds of millions. You don't understand? Yeah. And the government has many needs. But that's why.
No, the government having many needs. This is where I want to come in now. I think it is
priority.
Yeah, priority.
Health.
So now, who will make
health should be priority.
The importance of this.
That is what the CSOs are doing. But sometimes they meet brick wall because there are so many interests. CSOs, society organizations, that's what they do. And they are doing well. But sometimes need a buying for this. And the Commissioner of Health has told us that we're interested to have our proposal on how to escalate what we are doing. And the draft is ready. Very soon we will engage with him to know, even if we can't go the entire Anambra State, Ashweba when with a higher burden of malaria, video from there now reduced.
Doctor,
I'm not a medical doctor, I'm professor.
Nigeria being the big brother of Africa. In the 80s, we were giving aid to countries and
Algeria, Uganda, South Africa.
And just 40 years down the line, we are now needing aid in order to survive or take care of certain other things. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that, does it mean that the Ministry of Health cannot factor in a particular budget
to arrest this thing?
It's beyond Ministry.
No.
It's beyond Ministry of
No.
Health.
Okay, it's beyond Ministry of Health.
Because,
I don't know
it must be a holistic approach.
Okay, now a holistic approach, because
from the president
vulnerability
to the governor.
area is where I'm talking about. Children and pregnant women.
Especially those in their first pregnancies.
Children and
Why?
pregnant women.
You know, during pregnancy, let's discuss that. During pregnancy, the immunity of the pregnant mother decreases because that immunity is now serving 2 human beings. That is why they succumb to many diseases. And that is why when a woman is pregnant, they give them what is called IPT, intermittent preventive treatment for malaria. That is aspirin, sulfadoxine pyrimethamine.
It's a tablet or injection?
Yes, 3 tablets.
Okay.
3 tablets, Anambra after 16 weeks, what is called quickening. After 16 weeks of quickness of pregnancy, you take 3 tablets, what you may call Fancida. That's the brand name. And there are many types of them, malozin, all these 3 tablets. And you get first month, after, and you get second month, after 16 weeks, again you get up to 3 times. The idea is that if they don't give it to you, you, the pregnant woman, can have a child that is low birth weight. A child that was born with less than 2.5 kg. And any child born with that weight finds it difficult to survive. You understand? So when they give you that
no matter what you eat.
No matter what you eat.
But because you have malaria parasite in your blood.
Parasite, it goes to block the feeding of the baby.
Okay.
So that drug is meant to clear the parasite and the placenta, so the baby can feed well from the mother and have normal weight. Okay. You understand? And if during pregnancy, a woman can lose her baby, what we call abortion, due to malaria. Because it's that. A woman can also have a stillbirth, more round because of malaria. These are consequences, and the woman can herself die, either of anemia or whatever. So that is why they are vulnerable. The same thing with children less than 5. At that age, they are not yet exposed to malaria. They don't have immunity. The volume of their blood is very small. So any small thing, if you don't manage it in time, they will die.
Try.
So if government cannot do it in these critical groups,
exactly, that's my area.
Focus, free treatment everywhere they go. But still
well, like we have in Anambra State now, the pregnant women are given free medical care.
Not for malaria.
Not
for malaria, because some of us talk
free medical care, anything that you need until you carry your baby.
Free delivery. It's free delivery.
Not free medical care.
I think it's free delivery or something like that. To make it easy for them, which is a plus for the state governor that wasn't there before. But it's not comprehensive. It's not comprehensive. No. So as we talk now, no support from any agency or country or NGO is coming to Anambra State. That golden days now, from 2000 to 2015, and with the World Bank Malaria Project in Anambra State, office by the regional Shelley. World Bank Malaria Assisted Project. It ran parallel with the summer program, and that was a golden era. Many people were trained, even chemist shop owners were trained on how to control malaria.
So, this prevailing issue with malaria and everything, I know how much it affects us. Traveling,
it's a major problem.
No, traveling out of the country, because I've seen instances as in sports. I'm talking on the basis of sports. When I have friends that are into sports, they wanted to travel. It was more like an African representation. Nigerian athletes were quarantined.
Yes, now to be sure that they're not exporting malaria.
No, it's annoying and embarrassing.
You embarrass yourself by suffering malaria.
You understand?
But they have to make sure they are broad, because it's a security issue. One malaria
for their country.
One malaria case in London or UK or US is an emergency. Yes, it's an emergency, because if you don't quarantine, the mosquitoes there can easily feed on you, and what they have been enjoying for the past hundreds or 50 years will come back to them. So they have to be careful. That is a serious country. Okay,
Prof, when we say free medical care for a pregnant woman, is it not antenatal? Because I know the state government is free antenatal and free delivery.
I agree with you.
So when you go to antenatal and they won't give you malaria?
I agree with you that you can go and you will not pay for treatment. You will not pay for the services rendered. In the past, what it means is that you can go, they will say you pay 100 naira or 5,000 naira for treatment, for whatever, I mean, for this thing. It's
for antenatal.
But now it doesn't mean that you will not go and buy your drugs.
Even what is available in the hospital where you attend?
It's not there. Who is providing it? It's not there. You can go around now.
Okay.
For the nurse to give you that.
So you don't just pay for.
You go to market and buy the malaria drug and give you. It's not supplied. But when we're talking about this thing, it was supplied free of charge and they can reduce cost. It's not there. Even this SP is not there. I interacted with the malaria manager, and I think sometime last year. Do we have SP?
What is SP?
So what does it mean? Do I give it to pregnant women to help them?
To help them.
This time around, there's the one we call perennial malaria chemo prevention. You should be given to children in places like Anambra State, where malaria situation is year round, to make sure that at every point in time their system does not have this parasite. In the north, top north, they have the one called seasonal malaria chemo prevention. In the south, you have perennial. So these things need money to procure these drugs and give to people. So we are appealing to the legislation, we are appealing to the state government, we are appealing to the economic planning, we are planning to budgeting. Let them factor these things. Because that is human capital development.
Of course. Of course.
That is education and health and agriculture should be priority in what we are doing. So it's an appeal. Governor is doing well, but you should extend it. I would like to celebrate Anambra State as the first state to have zero malaria. In fact, I will give the governor, whoever has a special award, I will celebrate it. The first state in Nigeria. But let us not lie with data. Let us be sincere with ourselves. It's a serious hypocrisy.
Exactly.
If you go and lie that it is not, you don't have it. When the resources come, they will boycott you.
They will abandon you.
Yeah, talking about these agencies that help. And then I think one of the reasons, one of the problems we are having with these agencies is the government not paying their counterpart funds.
It's part of it.
That is one of the measures, because I know not just in health, in the other development.
It's part of it.
Okay. So now, which organization leads the global effort to combat malaria?
Today we have what we call Global Fund for AIDS, tuberculosis and malaria. They are the highest funder and highest marking in that area, Global Fund. Yes. But that Global Fund is money that they mobilize from various sources. Do you understand?
Where?
USA through USA. UK through UK aid, all these things. And people like Bill Gates. Do you understand? So while we are doing all these things, we should be building our local capacity. In the 80s, I know the Nigerians are manufacturing their drugs. The part of the problem today is that sometimes you buy the drug, it doesn't work.
That is, I was going to ask you
because the concentration, the active ingredients is not complete.
Is there a new strength of malaria?
New strength. Any drug that should be used should be tested to be sure that it's efficacious. They may tell you this is 100 mg or 480 mg of this. You go to the lab, you find that it's only 200 because people want to make quick money. Do you understand?
And compromise the life of people.
That is one thing that I'm telling you. And majorly it's people from around this place. It hurts, so honestly, pharmaceutical companies from here.
This is where government should help us. And that is where also, I think the government is trying to sanitize the drug market.
Yeah, the drug market.
And part of the sanitation should be to empower local production. This idea of, when I was in Onisha, between 1988 to 1991, when you go to buy drug, you ask for made in Nigerian drug. Because that is the original drug. We ask for made in Nigeria.
The one that was produced for you.
We ask for made in Nigeria. But now, people go to India, Pakistan, anywhere, manufacturing, sometimes they bribe their ways through. Dump it here and make money, and people are suffering. That's part of the problem.
Too bad.
Even the price amount we take is different from what is giving us when you go out.
And when you go to markets, I mean, when you go to hospitals and they prescribe these drugs, so you go to the pharmacy to buy it, And then the pharmacist will now tell you that there will be a combination. If you want to eradicate this malaria, you have to combine this. The injection will be there, this drug will be there, this one will be on top of it.
No,
otherwise, when you finish, you will come back. Because
sometimes they are ripping people off. If you have a good drug, already ACT is combination drug. Any ACT.
Well, just like you say, it's no longer effective.
That is the problem of regulation and supervision. Once in a while, government is expected to go to the markets, procure these drugs, test whether they are efficacious against these parasites. It's part of their duty.
Their duty, yeah.
But they are not funded for that. Go to Ministry of Health. The research aspect of that area is not functional.
Wow.
It's not funded. We have been advocating.
So we are at the mercy of whosoever brings whatever into the market, we buy.
That is why some drugs are
That's why people die.
Than others.
And it kills.
Well, we'll get back
drugs.
to that and talking about the efficacy, expensive nature and that, because I don't want Prof to instill fear in me since I'm already drinking malaria drug now. Let's go for a short break and we'll come back after this. Don't go anywhere. The show continues after this.
Of keeping our environment very clean. When your environment is very clean, then with that, mosquito will be far away from you. So even in your house, you keep your house very clean. You don't keep things, especially dark clothes and dark things around your environment. Then it will, push away the mosquitoes. By doing that, you are preventing malaria.
You can prevent malaria by using our nets. Mosquito nets.
By keeping the environment clean. Evacuating the stagnant water, keeping your environment clean, and malaria will actually end for himself.
Yeah, glad to have you back on Good Morning Anambra. Quickly, before we wrap up the show, there's this issue wherever you go to procure malaria drugs, even though most of us don't even run tests. We just, like I said earlier on, you just feel the signs from your body and then you go. Now, on several occasions, I've gone to get malaria drugs across the counter, and you see the nurse or the pharmacist telling you that you need to buy anti-malaria and blood tonic.
Or
and
no dispenser.
whatever. You know, they will just attach some other things and paracetamol and give to you. Prof, malaria does...
No, when you want to go, I think what we want to talk about is that when you go to treat malaria, to buy malaria, they will tell you that you also have to treat typhoid.
Yes.
That they will give you ciprotab or whatever.
Yeah.
We blood capsule too.
It is unfortunate that our laboratories are catching on the ignorance of the masses. If you see any typhoid case, it's an emergency.
I heard it.
Emergency. So it's not common. But people use more than typhoid from people.
And what about that?
They do it to instill fear and get money from people.
Wow.
It is part of the rip-off in the system. And I think government, local government, state government can help us.
Okay.
They may say, I'm giving a free solution now. You know we have a solution governor. I'm giving a free solution. They can designate some numbers that if you go to anywhere for treatment or for lab and they say you have typhoid, call this number. That is one way you can see that it will come down. But you know they are not telling the truth. So if we have, as I'm in Asia now, if I have a place I will call in Asia or in India like that, they say that I have typhoid. Call this number. Some of these things will just go down because they are lying. For you to test for typhoid, you need not just the urine, not just the wider test, you need to culture the stool to prove that you have typhoid. So it's not, we have studied it, we have written about it, but government who has the resources should help us. I just gave one solution now. Just let the Commissioner for Health designate those in the local government through this Anambra State Primary Development Agency. Designate these officers that any person that says he has come with typhoid should report to this number. Once you report, the government can do free tests on that person if it is a lie, you follow the lab man or the doctors doing that, and these things will come down. They are capitalizing on the people.
And they are killing people with these drugs.
Even to take antibiotics is not recommended. It's not a good thing in your system. You take it only when it is absolutely necessary. And that is why today we have epidemic of
liver, kidney,
drug resistance. You now take antibiotic for something that it will not work again. But the body has been abused. The drug has been abused. So part of the solution to this one is to the Ministry of Health to coordinate with the Anambra State Primary Development Agency and designate centers where, if anybody, and they use media to announce it, use town union to announce that if anybody says you have typhoid, please report to this line. If that is done, because that this thing they call typhoid will come down from maybe 100 to about 1 or 2%.
But why do they associate malaria and typhoid? Do they have the same symptoms?
Yes, typhoid can come with a symptom of malaria, but it is not typhoid. That's what I'm saying.
What else could it be? Because it could be resistant malaria.
There's nothing. It is severe malaria. It could be severe malaria. Severe malaria that has has eaten the cells. The malaria destroys the blood system, red blood cells. That's why it's dangerous. Because the parasite lives inside the red blood cells. And that's why you feel weak.
Yeah. You feel achy.
You feel you are even in joint. That's why you feel it. Because it's the blood cells that the parasite live in and destroy them. That is why people have anemia.
Wow.
The parasite system lives inside the red blood cells, not any other place.
What is the gestation period before somebody, passes on with malaria? Because I've heard people talking about cerebral malaria.
It's a complication of falciparum malaria. If you treat malaria today, and you don't have malaria parasite in your system again, and when you finish that treatment, the mosquito bites you, and that mosquito has malaria parasite. The tendency is that between that first day up to 15 days, you start having the signs in your system. But because we are Africans who have been repeatedly exposed to malaria parasite, the way it affects us is not the way it affects the white man.
We've built resistance to malaria too.
Over time, the continuous exposure increases our
immunity.
We can tolerate some levels of parastemia in our body, which a white man comes down here and will die with it immediately. Do you understand? So that is it.
Well, thank you so much,
we'll have to let you go.
Professor Dennis Aribodo, thank you for that. Southeast Coordinator, Association of Civil Society Organizations on Malaria Control, Immunization and Nutrition, ACOMIN. Thank you so much. I've really learned a whole lot.
Pass on the message.
Yeah, definitely. I will pass on the message. And
we do.
I know that whenever I go to, in fact, I will be running tests before
yes.
For you.
But you also help us to tell government to train people on malaria microscopy. Some of those test results they bring is fake.
Really?
Really?
To do malaria microscopy, which is the gold standard.
And investigates all these labs that are in every nook and cranny.
Cannot do it. The last training was done about.
Is it the training or the equipment to run the test?
The training first. You can have the equipment and still don't know how to use it. They should bring some lab scientists and lab technicians, and we bring. That time it was Homework that did it. Before they left, they trained some laboratory technologists on malaria microscopy. Some of those trained are no longer there. So I become big men, they cannot do malaria microscopy again. So these people need to come back and train people, because these are part of the things that will tell us whether we are moving forward or backward in the effort to make malaria. So help us to tell government to do what? Train malaria microscopists.
Okay, when next we invite you here? No problem. When next we invite you, we also invite the Commissioner for Health, so that you guys will rub minds together. Where he doesn't know, you will tell him, and where you don't know, he will tell you. And then what we want to achieve is a free state, free malaria, Anambra. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Somebody was asking me, which, are you from? Are you from Bayelsa? Ademadalo, Afambi Jama, and AJ. We must go.
Yeah, we must go. It's been a very, very educating session this morning. Malaria, I believe should I peg it, should I give it a time? We should eradicate, eliminate, expunge, exterminate.
And what the difference? Elimination means that the country does not have it. Eradication means that the entire world does not have it.
Okay, extend.
So we are looking at elimination for Nigeria. If Anambra eliminates and the Enugu does not eliminate, there is a problem.
Okay, let's go. See you next week. Bye for now.